Hey, what's going on, guys? Hello, people. Check this out. Got some clips for you today on TikTok. Bird flu, rat flu. This is not something that's going on. This is something that's going strong. It's in your stores. It's in your NyQuil, your Tylenol, your Motrin, all your medications. A lot of them, thousands of medications, contaminated with rat feces, bird feces, flying around in a Minnesota factory. Put these medications together. They give you the same exact symptoms as the flu. You're going to hear all that and more today on News to Know. Let's get into it.
Literally insane, but there are cold and flu medicines right now from brands like Dayquil, NyQuil, Tylenol, Advil, and Benadryl that's being urgently recalled after they just discovered rodent feces. I'm not even kidding with you right now. This is not a joke. It's happening right now. Multiple cold and flu medications that were sold nationwide are being pulled from shelves after investigators found evidence of rodent contamination. We are literally talking about medications that people take every single day. Dayquil, NyQuil, Tylenol, cold and flu, Advil, Benadryl, Motrin. These are some of the most common medicines in America. This initial recall was just found and triggered after inspections found signs of rodent and contamination risk, which is why this is classified as a serious recall. What obviously makes this even worse is the timing, because this is happening during peak cold and flu seasons when millions of people are actively using these medications without realizing that they're even under a recall. This is not like a normal recall where I'm able to provide you with the lot numbers and the best by dates to look out for, because officials are saying that the recalled products were distributed through Gold Star distribution facility. This is where the specific contamination was found, and they're saying that you need to check your packaging or your retailer to make sure that you don't have the products from that facility. Check your medicine and obviously share this video to as many people as you can so that they can see it, and I will be posting updates as more details come out.
That is horrible, you guys. Cold medicine recalled. It's in the middle of flu season. I've got the flu. My whole family's had the flu. I mean, rat feces, bird droppings found in a storage facility. I mean, nothing says helps your cold and flu like rodent evidence. I mean, this recall was confirmed by the FDA. It's all over the news stations. I mean, when the warning label says may cause drowsiness, but not rat feces, disease, and bird flu. Not that that would be a thing. Not that they would do that to us, because this recall does not mean that the problem was prevented. It means that they already happened. That's not a safety net, you guys. That's a receipt. Next clip.
So we got another recall. And this time, it's medication, dog food, and snacks. If you read the on-screen, yes. Because of rodent feces and rodent urine. Fool. That's sick. They say over 2,000 items have been recalled because of that. So if you got any of these products and you lived in the area of Minnesota, North Dakota, and Indiana, you might want to check the date on when this recall happened, because yeah, they want you to throw that shit out. It wasn't just Jerry running around dropping feces. It was also Tweety Bird too. Tweety Bird was dropping the feces too. If you happen to have a flu or a cold and you picked up some of this medicine and it was affected with the feces and shit, you're not just fighting the flu, you fighting the rat and bird DLC pack. So they said this facility was in Minnesota, and that joint was filthy, fool. Like, you walk in that joint and you can see the droplets happening real time. So I don't understand how they let this shit happen, because they let this shit happen.
That's really crazy, guys. You know, rodent feces can carry bacteria. It can cause fever. I mean, fatigue, headache, sneezing, nausea. That's also known as flu symptoms. I don't know if you checked in on that, but that's the exact same thing as the flu. So now you've got the bonus content, baby. Bonus content. You got the flu, the rat flu, the bird flu, the human flu, and influenza. All at the same store and a local drugstore near you. Next clip.
So apparently a lot of the congestion medicine we take doesn't actually work. An FDA advisory panel basically says the decongestant ingredient in many over-the-counter medicines is as pointless as this Peloton I don't use. And they may force stores to take them off the shelves. Some of the brands that may need to pull some of its products: Benadryl, Sudafed, Mucinex, the list goes on. The problematic ingredient is phenylephrine, which I may have pronounced wrong. Taking these meds won't hurt you, but you're basically paying for a pointless placebo. But you know what does work? What is time tested, grandma approved, on time, all the time, even when it rains? Ginger ale and vapor rub, sometimes saltines.
Oh my God, that's crazy. I know somebody drinks ginger ale right now like a crazy person. I mean, some people may not have had let's try that again. Some people may not have had the flu at all. They had a remix. I'll stop. You know, keep it in mind. At the same time as the recall, people across the country reported strange fog, unusual physical feelings. Nothing calms the public like a mystery mist. Mystery mist.
So you're telling me that an abnormal fog pops up all over the United States and is being reported in Europe as well, with these particles that are flying around that are not snow or moisture, have a chemical smell, and are leaving a white residue in some areas. And some people who have been exposed to the fog are falling ill with the same illness of inflamed sinuses, can't sleep, loss of appetite, and people think this is just a normal cold and flu and has nothing to do with this abnormal fog? Okay. So you're telling me that...
Alrighty then, I think we definitely know it does. The fog is known to trap small particles, including pollution, different irritants. Your lungs notice, your lungs know, and when your lungs love little surprises, they reward you with a little bit of phlegm, and it can be very irritating. Those irritants have been known to can cause fatigue, headaches, feverish feelings. Hey, look! The hits are back.
Abnormal fog pops up all over the United States and is being...
This is wild, man. Just totally crazy, totally crazy. I mean, smart dust is a real technology. It's designed to map environments. It's made to monitor human physiological signals. We built the dust that can read your body, but still, it can't lock a warehouse door. Can't keep the rat turds out. I don't understand why that's true, but it is part of the equation. We'll get into that into this next clip. Here we go.
Something strange is going on here, folks, with this weird fog that everyone's seeing in different parts of the United States, over in the UK, where it's just been lingering for 4 days. Is this potentially that smart dust technology?
Absolutely.
Nano-sized particles of RFID chips that they did research into since the 90s, and are they rolling it out right now? Check out my next video and I'll go into more details on the smart dust technology.
Why wait until the next video when you can learn about it right here, right now? Because I'll tell you, let's check it out. This is not a conspiracy. I mean, this is incredibly inconvenient timing. This is real. Smart dust is definitely a technology publicly documented. It's used in research, defense. I mean, this thing tracks weather. It tracks storms. It tracks you. And this is something, this is not for entertainment purposes only, TikTok. This is absolutely the truth. You can look about it yourself. You can go in and check out the DARPA released documents. This is released. People know this. This has been out for quite some time. And, at the same time, the winter weather has been swinging dramatically from warm to freezing, hot to cold. I mean, the storm's acting like it's flying down the highway at 90 miles an hour and sees a state trooper over in the bushes, slows down, goes from 70 to 35, and that's where the danger comes in. Next clip. Here we go. I promise. Next clip.
DARPA is something most Americans have never heard of. It's the biggest collection of geniuses anywhere in government. These are the guys that are creating not the next generation of technology, but 3 generations from now. If there are flying saucers and they're not little green men from outer space, DARPA made them. Seriously. This always struck me as very funny. DARPA's work is so classified that one DARPA scientist sitting next to another DARPA scientist has no idea what the other guy's working on. It's too highly classified. I mean, even at the CIA, we weren't cleared.
Not even at your position?
I had to get a Q clearance once because I had to go to the Department of Energy to talk about a nuclear issue. Nobody liked the fact that I had the clearance, and I ended up having the clearance just for one day, and then they revoked it. But that's how DARPA is too. This is another thing that always struck me as funny. There's a DARPA website, and they have pictures of scientists like, working together all in bliss. These are just generic pictures of random people you pull off the internet. These aren't DARPA people that are in the pictures. You can't show the DARPA people. They're too highly cleared.
I know that's true. And, keep in mind, at the same time, winter weather is really captivating right now. If you've been outside anytime recently after the first of the year, all across the country, man, except for up north, the weather had changed. It went to 65 degrees, 55 degrees. I mean, it's amazing. It's got multiple real factors. These things can overlap and create the same symptoms, but everyone online wants to be one villain with the same cape. That's what they want. That's what they're looking for. Let's get more information as we go into the next clip. Next clip.
March 16th, 2018. The U.S. government's Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, commonly known as DARPA, announces a bold initiative to develop what they call Next Generation Non-Surgical Neurotechnology. It is designed to allow the human brain to directly interface with machines. Like their counterparts at the CIA, DARPA-funded researchers have spent decades investigating how the human mind can be altered. In 1965, DARPA launched Project Pandora, which studied the possibility of using microwave radiation to control human behavior. The project reportedly ended in 1969, but DARPA's investigation of how machines can affect and possibly control the brain continues to this day.
There are explicit programs of DARPA to read and write to human brains, whether it's through direct implants within the brain.
That is crazy. I mean, it's just amazing. People are arguing over which single thing is causing everything. And meanwhile, the correct answer might be, yes, it is. Noticing patterns does not mean that you're crazy. I mean, you look into these things, you got to watch out. Look, I get it all the time. I've been told I was crazy my entire life. Do you think it matters to me? There's people to this day that still say, hey, you better watch out. Don't hang out with that guy. Hey, you've read some of the things he posts online. You damn right. Check this out. Keep it in mind, people. Right here, right now. You take your finger and you point at somebody and you say, that's the problem. They're crazy. I don't understand them. They're crazy. Did you hear what they said? They must be crazy. I don't understand that. I don't understand that mad craziness. That's dismissive. And keep it in mind, you're the problem. Take the time to learn the people you want to talk about. Take the time to learn that when you point at somebody and you say they're crazy because you don't understand, that makes you the problem. You're the type of people that make laws. And every time you make a law, you make a criminal. And that's very individually twisted. I guarantee you that. Let's get to the next clip.
It's a project first dreamed up by the military to get information from the battlefield.
They call it smart dust, and the new technology may soon make it possible to keep track of anything, anywhere, including you.
Yeah. Smart dust is coming. Are you ready? Don't forget, you guys, you've got to notice the patterns, and it doesn't make you crazy. Pretending nothing's wrong makes you crazy. Pretending nothing overlaps is the real fantasy. pretending this stuff doesn't exist and turning your head while you're taking the jabs and spitting out a problem, that's nothing that you need to focus on, spitting out and making up something that doesn't even make any sense. These are the problems. Those are the real problems. The story does not mean that you're being secretly poisoned. That's not what they're saying here. It just means that the system is duct taped together, and that's the real problem. Next clip. Check this out. I think you're going to enjoy this one.
The inevitability of smart dust. So what is smart dust? Well, smart dust, of course, isn't a new...
Keep it in mind, you guys, this was in 2014.
A new concept. It originated with DARPA back in the 90s. And it's general purpose computing, sensors, wireless networking, all bundled up into millimeter scale sensor modes, drifting in the air currents, flecks of computing power settling on your skin, ingested, monitoring you inside and out. And you haven't really seen anything yet. So this is closer to the end of the vision. This powder-sized chip, and that's a salt crystal, so this is a small thing. It's something called the Mu chip from Hitachi.
This is a graphene-based nano antenna, may enable operating smart dust swarms. Graphene-based nano antennas may enable operating smart dust swarms. Here we go.
It's the smallest commercially available RFID system in the world and can be pulse powered by radio waves. It doesn't require a battery. You can literally scatter this stuff like dust or embed it into a sheet of paper. And you know what the really interesting thing about this technology is? This was commercially released 10 years ago. We're still essentially at the banging the rocks together stage for this sort of stuff. And you haven't really seen anything yet.
That guy stood up front. He said, "You ain't seen nothing yet." No, you ain't seen nothing. Excuse me. Check it out. The most reasonable response, you guys, is basic caution and a functioning memory. You gotta wash your hands, wash your face. Maybe don't trust a mystery. And certainly don't trust a mystery fog during flu season, especially when birds are doo-dooing at the medicine company. NyQuil, Dayquil, and mid-afternoon quill is just like the quail. It's a bird. Bird droppings, rat turds. These are things they're telling you are in your medicine. They're telling you it's in there. They're telling you. And this is news to know. And this is the next clip. Swipe.
The inevitability of smart dust. So what is smart dust? Well,
my name is Augustus Dorico. I'm the CEO and founder of Rainmaker. We're a cloud seeding company. We're a cloud seeding company that is enhancing precipitation via advanced radar and also drones for the sake of supplementing water supplies for farms, cities, reservoirs, and wildlife throughout the United States. Cloud seeding is altogether different. The only similarity is that it has to do with the atmosphere. It has to do with the low atmosphere. It's a mechanism, or it's a tool that either freezes the water in existing clouds or condenses the droplets in existing clouds into bigger snowflakes or bigger droplets such that they fall onto your target watershed or fall. It's a technology that has existed for 80 years in the United States. It was patented by GE in 1946. The National Center for Atmospheric Research produced some great results from what's called the SNOWY campaign, where they were able to verify cloud seeding's effect. And they saw tens of millions of gallons of precipitation occur from each of their interventions. And that was very, very easily distinguishable on radar. It also is worth saying that it's local in its scope, and it is very short temporally. So if ever there is cloud seeding going on and you don't like the consequences of it, there are unintended consequences, and it's quite well characterized, so the unintended consequences are minimal. You can stop whenever you want. We, Rainmaker Technology Corporation, has engineers in all of those states that I mentioned that are actively modifying it. They're actively enhancing precipitation for farmers and reservoirs and cities that are undergoing drought.
Oh my God, these people are out of their minds, man. They're out of their minds. Today, rainmakers. Tomorrow, you're going to have maps everywhere. These people are out of their minds. Don't trust them. And I know, it sounds insane. It really sounds insane until you hear the whole thing. And this guy, this young kid with the mullet, the young kid with the mullet, in real time, this kid with the mullet, this serious kid, check this kid out. Look at this kid. This kid's about 23, 24, 25 years old. Okay? Today it sounds crazy. Tomorrow, while the maps everywhere ignore the lines, everything lines up perfectly with what people feel, with what people cough up, with what's really going on. It's amazing to me that no one cares. No one looks into these things. Why is that? I don't know. Here we go.
We're here in Santa Barbara County, home to one of the longest running cloud seeding operations in the country. We've got some ground-based cloud seeding equipment right here, and we're gonna get to hear all about how it works and see it in action. Let's check it out.
Check it out.
Cloud seeding is the most common type of weather modification, and it has many different techniques and applications. Today, it's mostly used to increase rain and snowfall, reduce the size of hail, and reduce fog at airports.
Traditionally, cloud seeding has been done from the air. So airplanes have had racks on them where these same flares are positioned on the airplane, and the airplane flies into the storm. So in order to reduce the cost to the client and reduce our carbon footprint, we've been able to station these on the ground. Now we can do this in places where weather permits.
Behind a barbed wire fence designed to keep away curious cattle, the cloud seeding gear awaits the right kind of weather.
So these are referred to as AHOGs. That stands for Automated High Output Ground Seeding Systems. We've got three primary components of our equipment here. The first is the control module that you see behind me. Then we have our actual cloud seeding flares. The cameras for security. It also helps us observe weather conditions in real time and make sure that all of the equipment is operating correctly during a storm. Inside these canisters are the flares with the seeding agents. The canisters are used as spark arresters, so they prevent sparks from reaching the ground. So if we pull off the spark arrestor, you can see the flare inside. The ignition of the flares are controlled from the control module that's behind us. So the white triangle there is a cell service modem, and then the solar panel keeps us powered. Inside we have a battery and then a control board. So the control board interacts with the software. We're linked or synced with the software in Utah currently, and that allows us to fire or ignite any of the flares from that remote location.
Because of the lack of clouds and proper wind conditions, today is not a good day for cloud seeding at all. But Garrett and his team are going to light a flare for us anyway, so we can show you how it works. There's just one small problem.
We're gonna do it anyway.
The battery in the control module died shortly before we arrived, but it's nothing a little jump start can't fix. After a little juice from Garrett's truck, it's time to set off the flare.
The primary seeding agent in this is silver iodide. Silver iodide is a simple compound. It's polar in nature like water, so there's chemical properties that help attract water molecules to silver iodide. It's also structured molecularly similar to ice. So it helps generate or helps spawn the generation of ice buildup, and then that becomes a hailstone or a snowflake that falls here primarily as rain. So one flare like this has billions and billions of potential sites for that water to congregate around. We'll launch them in sequences. We watch the radar to see when bands of the highest concentration of liquid water are passing above us in the clouds, and we try to target those high concentration pockets in the storm systems. We'll launch between 3 and 20 flares for a typical storm. Once the flare is lit, it takes a little bit of time to carry up into the clouds, and once it's up at the proper elevation, it'll take about 20 minutes to instigate the rain or the snow process. So overall, you're probably looking at about 40 to 45 minutes before you're seeing the maximum result. And that's why we're stationed miles away from our target area. So we have very specific targets that drain directly into major water basins, and we time these events to correlate with rain above those intended targets. One of the biggest questions or most common questions that we receive relates to the safety of silver iodide. Silver is biologically inert, so it will not interact in a negative fashion with plant or animal life. Iodine is actually a critical building block of a number of hormones in animals, so it is safe as well. In fact, if you look at table salt or baby formula, you'll see iodine in its molecular form as an additive in those commonly consumed substances.
But what about other potential adverse effects? Could cloud seeding affect communities outside the targeted areas?
Sometimes there is a concern about robbing Peter to pay Paul. So are we benefiting California at the expense of Nevada? And the truth is that storm systems, when they move over off the coastline, only about 10% of that moisture is going to fall in the form of precip. And we're looking at increasing that to about 11% because we have about a 10% increase in the natural storm's productivity. So going from 10% to 11% in California has an insignificant impact on the amount of precip that will still be available in Nevada or Utah.
Built into the program are kind of checks to make sure that we don't come across anything negative. When there are high intensity storms, we won't seed. If the reservoirs are full, we won't seed. If the rivers are flowing a lot, maybe near flood capacity, we won't seed.
We hope that the conditions that exist right now will turn around and that we will not face the severity of droughts that we're facing, particularly this year. But a number of scientific articles are suggesting otherwise. And as we look into the future, we need to again consider conservation first. So the ability for us is to conserve how we use water and the ways that we store the water. And then layer on that efforts like weather modification and cloud seeding to help increase the rainfall that we do receive. It's very important that we take advantage of every opportunity we have to generate water in a sustainable way.
Anybody who's interested in learning more about cloud seeding, I've got links to scientific studies and official reports down in the description. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe for more. If you want to see more What the Future episodes, check out this playlist right here. Hope this video seeded your imagination. Conserve water. See you next time.
These people are out of their goddamn minds. I don't understand sometimes the way they say what they say. It's like they don't understand. It's like they don't even try to understand. They don't even try to realize. The man said, we're going to put this in the clouds because it seems to help. You think so? You think that's a good place to put it? Why do you think they're going so far out of their way to convince us that everything's safe? Because it's obviously not very safe at all. It's obviously a problem. It's obviously causing situations that are not safe. Silver, barium. I mean, he's showing you these things on the ground. They're sticking up in sticks, look like little 5G trees or whatever. But I'm telling you, these things are on airplanes, and they pay these people considerable amount of money to spray it. And I mean, like normal people with Cessnas, normal people, I would be surprised if they weren't flying around on paramotors. Next clip. I don't doubt that at all. These people are out of their mind.
Is a Holocaust, a genocidal Holocaust.
Wow, that's amazing. I'm going to get on to the next clip, and I thought it was appropriate to end this show with the guy from Minnesota, Jesse Ventura. All the stuff going on in Minnesota, the bird droppings, the rat droppings, the flu medication becoming contaminated. It's horrible. It's horrible. Next clip.
At 18, I went into the United States Navy. I then deployed to Southeast Asia and Vietnam for a 9-month deployment. While I was deployed, I turned 20. I returned home. Within 1 week, I went into my executive officer and I demanded to go back to Vietnam. He looked at me and said, but you just got home, you can't do that. You've got to be 6 months out of the combat zone before you can go back in. Then he asked the question, what is the problem? And I said, here's the problem, sir. I said, over there I'm a man, here I'm a child. I had done all of that, 9 months, came back, and I could not drink a beer on Orange Avenue because I was under 21. I couldn't even vote for who sent me to Vietnam because voting was 21 then. I wasn't old enough. What did I learn from that? Gee, I guess we send children to war, don't we?
That's wild. That's wild. All right, you guys, that's the show. Thanks for tuning in. Right here, right now, news to know, where you're going to get the truth, and you might not like it, but don't you point your finger at me and say that I'm the problem, that you don't understand me because I'm crazy, and that you don't understand conspiracy theorists because you can't comprehend what they're saying. That's dismissive. Don't be dismissive. Be someone that helps. Check it out today on News to Know.